talk. We're here to speak. We're here to read your comments. Today we are sitting, we are chilling. Look at the hair, man. It just never fails. The curls. I got complimented so many times at the Daytona 500 about my mustache. I literally had a girl come up and say, I mustache. I was just sitting there watching the race, cars go by. I turn around to look at the screen because that's where what you did on the fan zone. I turn around and look at the screen. She goes, and this girl just, and I'm like, hello? And she goes, I must ask you a question. And she just busts out laughing, looks back at her friends. That was so funny. So damn funny to see that happen. I didn't know what to react or how to react. She pulled out a little baby hand and slapped me with it. We do have content of that. I might be editing the video up and putting that out here today. We've been kind of resting, to be honest. We've been trying to rest at least just a little bit. You see, when I went to the Daytona 500 yesterday, I had to sit or stand in line. First of all, let's rewind it back to the week of the Valusia Speedway or Valusia Dirt Car Nationals. The best place to stand or watch the race was at the top of the damn platform, right below the announcer's booth. You get access. I had Mike Van Ganderen coming over talking to me about the track conditions, which I thought he did an okay job with what they had. Apparently, there are some inherited dirt issues. I know track conditions was a big deal for a question for a lot of people, but apparently the track had a lot of damage from the hurricane season, and it didn't really have a lot of dirt left. Apparently, Volusia Speedway Park is going to be bringing in new dirt to the facility this next year. And it is going to be very interesting to see how that actually pans out with new dirt going on to the racetrack. But I thought Van Ganderen did an okay job. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we were on that platform every single day, every single night, standing for hours on end, which I don't have a problem with standing. But after about 4 hours, you start to feel the pain a little bit, especially when you put on the weight like I have. It's probably my fault in this. How you doing there? We see the comments there, but had a great time at the Valusia Speedway Park. Of course, David and Ralph and everybody, even the waffle stomping guy. He was a really good time. Todd and just generally everybody involved. Even we got Mike and Mark, our new PA friends. Cody Johnson and his girl and the two Ks. I think there's a Karen and a Kelly. I can't remember the names. I'm sorry. I think one's Kelly. She believes in God, which is fine. We need more people to believe in God. This live is being brought to you by Jesus. We'll just say that to begin the show. How about that? But anyways, we were hold on. We got a message already. Help for review. Did you wipe your butt after you have a poo? Somebody's comment is very disgusting. You look like a guy that can get a Peterbilt unstuck out of a cornfield. That is hilarious. Dirt Kings Media says, "Amen." Hey, I'm saying, bro, if you ain't got Jesus in your life, you can't be living like the Chaz. You definitely can't be doing that, just randomly showing up and going to all these places. It's because I got Jesus on my side. So if you believe in Jesus, links in the description. Join the support. No, I'm just like, that's why I'm trying to be like a preacher. You know, that's what the preachers do, right? They're like, Jesus, love Jesus. Now give me your money, bitch. Fuck off if you don't give me your money. Can't be here to listen to the sermon. Before we continue, we cannot continue unless you give us $1 in the deal. Believe in Jesus or not, bitch. That's what they do. He got a deep dip in his mouth and he tried to preach. I don't have a dip in my mouth. This is a birth defect. Once again, umbilical cord wrapped around the neck. All nerves severed since birth. So similar to Sylvester Stallone, Gerard Butler. Those are just some actors who had the same situation. Hey man, Zen, how many Zens you got? There's no Zens. No Zens at all, ladies and gentlemen, in my mouth. But anyways, don't use Zens. No, I use Velos. They're very cheap. They're $2. They last for about 3 days. Velo Plus is what I've been using. Regardless, great time at Volusia, but we've been standing every damn day. And the feet have been hurting, resting most of the time when you're not at the track. Of course, walking all over the facility as well, talking to drivers, talking to people. We get to Sunday. I'm like, all right, we got us a seat. We're going to go into the Daytona 500. We're going to be okay. We get to the Daytona 500. Marv and his lovely wife, the Puerto Rican firecracker, we cannot say her name or she will sue, apparently. We go in to get in line to go into the dam. No, I do not use 9 milligram. That's too much. I use the 6. Try not to go too higher than a 6. I would do 4 if they had it. Regardless, we go to stand in line. Trump flies over in his Air Force One. Oh my God, everybody goes crazy. They start chanting Trump. And then USA, all the great things. But this line to get in through security is about 3 hours of a wait, 2 hours solid. And we got there at like 12:30, 12, well, actually like 12:15. And it was 2:15 before we get through the security check. But at about 1:30, when we heard the national anthem going off, we had the jets flying everywhere. It was crazy. People started chanting, let us in. They were pissed off that this security deal had taken so long. So we get in there. We get through security. I go up there to scan my ticket to get in because I got this ticket. It was supposed to be a general admission ticket, as well as access to the fan area and pre-race areas. So I wait in this line for almost 3 hours. They scan the ticket and say, oh, this is a general admission to just the fan zone and just the pre-race activities. You need to go walk back around to the other side of the track, go through the tunnel, and go to the infield to enter the fan zone, which is where it's located. So I just wasted 2 hours of my life. I did get some clips, obviously. It was kind of fun. But was it worth standing 2 hours after being literally destroyed for 2 weeks straight at the Dirt Car Nationals because I was standing up all night? No, it was not. It was very unfortunate at that point. Very unfortunate. I was very upset. So anyways, I have to go under the tunnel. I have to walk all the way from the front under the tunnel, get to this purple tram that is after you cross under the bridge. We get to the fan zone deal. It's pouring down raining. We're all running for shelter. Then I was supposed to go back to the car because there was the big rain delay. I go to the car, get on the wrong tram to go to the car. They take me to turn 1 tunnel. Then I come back to get on the purple tram to go to turn 4. And the purple tram, there's somebody talking to the purple tram lady, and there was like, well, at lap 160, we shut this one down. Really? Lap 160, apparently, this purple tram that takes you to turn 4 is going to be shut down. The turn 1 thing's still going, but turn 4 is going to be shut down. So, after learning that information, going to the car, coming back, they finally get going. We're forced to stand up. Basically, they had sitting areas, but not really good ones, not where the action was. So we ended up standing up for the duration of the race, basically, the rest of the day. And then we had to walk from basically the pit gate or the pit entryway all the way to turn 4. No trolleys as the trolleys was shut down. So I describe all this to say that today we have basically been recuperating our foot because we stood up all day yesterday. And according to my phone, I would pull it up and show you. I forgot we were recording on the phone. I believe it said we walked like 7.5 miles just yesterday. So on the feet all day, 7.5 mile walk. The left foot, when you're a fat ass like me, does not feel good about that decision making, especially after being on your feet for 2 damn weeks straight. So that was the experience that we had. Venmo and PayPal links in the description if you enjoy that. I mean, if you enjoy my pain, I wish I was making a penny for every step, or I would have had a lot of money then. Regardless, it was still a good time. It was interesting. The Ryan Priest incident was definitely insane. But being able to be there that close, I do recommend the fan zone. Even though you got to stand up all day, just be prepared to do that. You do not have to go through the main security line, though. You just have to go to the fan zone security line, which is very simple and quick and easy. If I didn't have to stand in that 2-hour security wait, it might have been way easier. Because at least when you're on the fan zone area, you can kind of walk around. You're above the I mean, we did the videos yesterday. You're above the garages. You're right there in the action. So I think the fan zone is the way to go, even more so than a seating ticket, because you're just sitting there all day. But regardless, It was fun. It was interesting. Some of the things that happened at the Valusia Speedway Park were not fun. We're not interesting, and this is where we're going to get into our first topic of the day. Obviously, I was going to say that the late model racing was so much superior than the sprint car racing because that's how it's been every year. This year, the dirt situation and whatever, the hurricane, blah, 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 the late model racing was not as 3 and 4 and 5 wide as we have been used to seeing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Chat, is this real? Yeah, I think this is real. We're talking, we're sitting here. Yeah. But anyway, the late model racing was very tough to make passes. This is a simulation. You're correct. That's why I'm out here just living it. Y'all can play Oculuses. I'm basically living one. That sounds so bad, but it's true. I'm playing Outback Andy. That's my version. The late models at Volusia were not very nice in comparison to previous years. Your mom was insisting this was AI. Do I look like an AI character? Am I that? Is she calling me pretty? Is your mom calling me pretty? If so, how tall is she? What does she look like? She long live the Chaz on Facebook. Send me a message. We'll see if we can make AI come to life for her. Is she beautiful? What? No, I'm just playing. I'll be telling you, I got so many compliments on the curls. They thought that I do this for a living, like make curls on my hair. It's very interesting. But at the end of the day, the late models were very single file. It wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. And there was an incident on the track in the main event throughout the week between Bobby Pierce and Jonathan Davenport. This is what I want to talk about. This is what I've been wanting to talk about. Jonathan Davenport throws a Bobby Pierce slider. Bobby Pierce can't handle Bobby Pierce's own style of slide job, jumps the cushion, and then almost spins out, tries to come back on, gets knocked out of the groove, and then comes to a stop. And then apparently is upset with how Jonathan Davenport threw a slide job on him. The thing is, how in the hell are you complaining? The fans of Bobby Pierce, for instance, which I would say I've always given Bobby Pierce credit and admiration, even in the face of criticism between, cold or harsh moments. I said, well, that's Bobby Pierce. He's on the edge. He's driving a late model like a sprint car. Even Bobby Pierce fans in that moment were upset with Bobby Pierce. There is no way that Bobby Pierce fans would have expected him to say that. And if you are a Bobby Pierce fan and you still are, you're just like, damn, I accept hypocrisy. Because when you go watch the video, Jonathan Davenport completely clears Bobby Pierce, goes to the cushion. Bobby Pierce loses his air as he should have anticipated, and goes over the cushion and loses position on the racetrack. Bobby Pierce throws slide jobs like that on people all day long. They're just used to handling them, I guess. And that's why I say Bobby Pierce's comments are, at a minimum, hypocritical. Exactly, Ken Joseph. JD slid BP exactly how BP slides him. That was a the slide job that Jonathan Davenport did was a textbook Bobby Pierce slide job. A dirty slide job in sprint car racing is when you clip their front end. If the driver doesn't have to slam the brakes to not get hit, and the driver throwing the slide job clears the driver, it don't matter if it's by a paper thin inch or by a half car length. If you clear that guy you're throwing the slider on, it's considered a clean slide job. And for Bobby Pierce to sit there and cry about it, and once again, I've defended Bobby so much over the years, but when I hear the critics, because I ask people all the time, why are you upset at Bobby, or what's the deal? Oh well, I just don't like him. He always cries. He's always complaining. He's always blah blah blah. It's very Denny Hamlin-esque, because people hate Denny Hamlin. He always says one thing and does another. It's starting to when we had this situation over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. It is starting to give a lot of credibility to those people who hate Bobby Pierce and the reasons they hate him. And if you are a fan, like I have been of Bobby Pierce for this entire time, and you are witnessing what we saw, and you're reading the quotations and everything of the sorts, you're having to sit there and be like, fuck, not only is Bobby Pierce looking hypocritical and dumb, he's making me as a fan of his look hypocritical and dumb. Because I guarantee you the Bobby Pierce fans have always been fighting back these people who are against the aggressive driving style that Bobby Pierce exuberates on a weekly basis in super late model racing. That's why they're a fan of his, because of those exciting, barely nudge by slide jobs. It's visually appealing. And people have been defending those things like I have here. But, man, I just don't. I can't defend Bobby Pierce in this moment because of this situation. I mean, the epitome of hypocriticism is Bobby Pierce complaining about this slide job, and it's pretty damn sad, to be honest. And I feel bad for the Bobby Pierce fans because I like I said, I feel like I've been in your shoes a little bit because you've been defending him, and he basically stuck his foot in his mouth and put a foot in yours as well. It's very sad. So I got a commenter. I like your mustache. So does the girls at the racetrack. That's all. Ego, my friend. It hurt the ego. He lost the front end. He did lose the front end. Let's be honest of what happened there. Jonathan Davenport threw a slider. It was close. Bobby Pierce didn't properly anticipate how much that slider would move his car on the track, losing the air. He fucks up, made a mistake, jumped the cushion. Tried to get right back on the track, but a car was already there. He spins out into the rubbish because there ain't nowhere for him to go, and he loses the spots on the racetrack. He did that. Bobby Pierce is the reason he jumped the cushion, and everything that happened to Bobby Pierce was Bobby Pierce's fault. 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no question marks. There's no wondering or conceptions. That is exactly what happened. Now, we used to like Bobby Pierce, or most of his fans too, probably, for just saying what he felt and thought, and it was most of the time just true and raw, and some people liked it and some people didn't. But now we can't say that either, unless we like hypocrisy. So I feel real bad for Bobby Pierce fans because now you can't sit back and respect the guy for his aggressive driving style and defend his aggressive driving style anymore because he's condemning that driving style now. And now you can't sit back and defend him telling it like it is no matter if you like it or not, because he didn't even tell it like it was to himself and to everybody around him. He didn't even sit there and say, yeah, it was a close. I thought it was going to be like, yeah, it was a close slider. I pulled those before. I kind of messed up, jumped the cushion there. Nowhere for me to get back on the track. Man, it sucks. But that's racing. That's what I thought Bobby Pierce would say. Not what he said to JD. Not that type of attitude. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Disgusting. Somebody just said it. Not a fan of not taking accountability. 100% correct. 110% correct. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's really all I have to say about the late model week as far as shocker. Great runs by Garrett Albertson all week long. Talked to Drake Troutman. They're good to have a good run for 1 week. Of course, he lost the race to JD at the final event of the night or week. He seems to be having some high hopes as well. Jimmy Owens very upset that he lost his car, and hopefully he'll be building a new one. Just a little update there with Jimmy Owens. It seems like everybody's pretty hyped. Another topic of the week was Tim McCready and Rocket and Boom Briggs. What are we going to do there? What are we going to do there? Should Tim McCready stay in the car? Does Tim McCready not work in a Rocket very well? Was Tim McCready the problem with the Rocket 1 last year? I don't know if that's so true. I think we're in big trouble if we're considering the dirt racing world, and I feel like I'm a part of that. When I say we, I'm talking about all of us in dirt, not just sprint cars. But we in the late model industry in particular are in very big trouble right now because y'all have a issue where you have a chassis manufacturer who is just waxing everyone's fucking ass right now. Longhorn, what Longhorn is doing with the Canadian influence of Steve Arpin. Obviously, first of all, give thoughts and prayers to the people on the airplane, the Delta flight that went upside down in an emergency landing today in Ontario, Canada. All passengers on board was safe, though. It had to be a very traumatic experience, something those people will never forget, regardless. Just doing that in honor of Steve Arpin. Obviously, this is a Canadian influence chassis, and I think that's what's going on here. This is the problem. This is an attack. This is a sneak attack from the man upstairs. I'm just kidding. Obviously, this is all satire. But whatever they're doing over there at the Longhorn chassis industry shop, they're taking over the super late model racing industry right now, as far as I'm concerned. And Rocket can do some work, and they fucking better. They better do some work. And I'll tell you what, the Infinity chassis over there with Ryan Gustin is looking damn good. The Capital don't look like it's too far off. I mean, I would almost put the Infinity over the Rocket right now, personally. The one that Gustin and them have over there with Cody. Got to talk to them. They're looking to do some damage as well this year. This is a year that the Ryan Gustin, the Reaper's looking to come and reap some ass on y'all's ass finally. But he's doing it in a non-Longhorn chassis, which if he can do it, very impressive. But it still scares and worries me that you are going to have a specific chassis manufacturer. Show us the mullet. I ain't got no hair under here, bro. What are you talking about? Show you the mullet. I mean, it's got curls on the side and stuff. I need to get a haircut. I need to trim this up some more. Anyway, trying to distract me with these comments. The Longhorn chassis is looking to be the dominant chassis. And here's why I say this is scary. Not even going after Rocket or anybody. Once again, thank you for the super chats. Oh, there is none. PayPal Venmo links in the description to help us buy a tent. We're trying to buy a tent for Sebring and St. Pete. So get us a tent, ladies and gentlemen. They're like $160. So PayPal Venmo us so we can have a damn tent. I'll buy the spot. Anyway, so we can do a live at a tent site. Maybe doing some fishing videos. I do have my GoPros with me and a chest strap. That'd be cool. Anyway, the problem with this situation is late model racing is closer to NASCAR than sprint car racing. 100%. There's no way around this. And when you have a situation where one chassis starts to be this dominant and you have rules and bodies and all this complaining and pushing technology and blah, 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 blah. If you go study other situations and other forms of motorsport, when that starts to be a topic and you got these one or two or three competitive chassis, but there's just one better than the rest of them and blah, 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 blah. What happens in the next 5 to 10 years from that topic is that chassis manufacturer cuts a deal with the series at hand, with the ones leading everything, and they release some style of a spec chassis and cut a deal with the series to do a spec car and spec this and spec that. And this is just how the industry is going to go now. And yeah, your old cars, there'll be some sub-series out there that'll take them, but we're going to make the bodies better. They're all going to be closer to one another. There's going to be variances, but not a lot. This is going to be the best car out there, obviously. We're dominating the industry. This is what just happens, guys, in any industry. This is just what happens is when somebody gets to the top, this is the dominance that sector of the motorsports world, when one guy starts to push ahead and the other guys start complaining, that's when the series just say, you know what, fuck it. There's one car that's so much better than everybody else. You know, these other guys can't keep up. We're just going to come out with one kind of car, and that's going to be the car we're going to run. And we're just going to subcontract the workout to this one manufacturer, and that's who's going to do it. This would be your Delara, for instance, with NASCAR currently. And with the direction of dirt late model technology and where it's going, it's very plausible that this could happen very soon. A 5 to 10 year plan. I mean, if the other guys don't catch up, hopefully they do it. Like I said, I think Gustin's got some hopes. You know, a lot of people said, you know, Rocket had this kind of lead on the industry, and then Longhorn came up and took them over and ran with it. And Longhorn's time will eventually cease to be. You know, Longhorn's dominance of the sport will eventually fall off its mantle, and Rocket or somebody will figure something out that's better than them. Regardless, I don't know if that'll happen or not. It is still, you know, I'm just looking at other industries and what happens to their industries when they start going this direction. And one chassis manufacturer with a combination of the Bilstein, I don't care how, you know, because when you see a Rocket or a Longhorn chassis up front, it's usually got those Bilstein shocks on it. And this is kind of like a combinational package, usually with the motor builder as well. Hey, guy, you call up Longhorn. Hey, man, I want to run just as fast as Ricky Thornton Jr. Okay, buy this chassis, go to this shock manufacturer, go to this spring guy, go to this engine guy, and there you go. And eventually, if you want to keep costs, because this is how the costs go up, because everybody sets their own little price when they get the scheme going between the webs of these four sectors of the car, that's when the cost starts skyrocketing. And this is what causes the drivers and teams and series to all get together and say, yep, let's just spec it, all one guy, all one thing. You know, because this industry, this web connection is just getting out of hand. Regardless, at the end of the day, the late model industry is going to be experiencing some things. I think so. Hopefully, Rocket gets their act together. It'll be interesting to see if they do. But at the end of the day, hold on, that guy's got some issues. Regardless, at the end of the day, Tim McCready is the talking point we brought up on. And I don't think Tim McCready or Brandon Shepherd or any of these guys in a non-Longhorn chassis should be getting any kind of hatred or negative speaking towards them. Because guys, if you can't see it on the track, everything but a Longhorn is just behind. And, you know, I think a guy like a Tim McCready or any of these higher ups, or even the Brandon Shepherd with Mark Richards himself, they're trying everything they fucking can to hit something that's going to start doing some damage against these guys. They are they're testing on race nights, you know, because they could go and test alone with Rocket cars at a track, but they can't test how far they're off from these guys unless you're at a competitive scenario and able to see what they're doing on the same track and trying to catch up. And I think a lot of these guys are swinging for the damn fences. You know, a lot of guys are swinging for the fences on this thing. So I think there's a lot of setups being adjusted and attempted, and some of them are working and some of them are not. You know, so that's the scenario, I think, with the late model world. And anybody in something besides a Longhorn, you got the excuse. You're not in a Longhorn. That's how I see it. Including McCready, including Shepherd, including all these guys. Tyler Erb seems to be the best Rocket, but he parks away from everybody. They ain't sharing information with him. He's got something going, but it still ain't Longhorn level. And at the same time, it doesn't seem, at least based on proximity, to being, meshed in with all the other people. So at the end of the day, that's the late model. situation. Sprint car situation, not much going on. Thought about going to Milton, Florida for the USCS. It's going to be freezing up there. That's not going to happen. So we're not going to be going up in that direction. There is some racing down at Clewiston, the Hendry County Motorsports Park. There is their big Swamp Cabbage 100 this weekend, 22,000 to win in factory stocks. Cruising USA late model is going to be racing for 15,000, I believe. And then there, of course, is the elusive Sebring International Speedway, the white collar people that I have never been to, Trans Am racing, and that is going to include Kaylee Bryson. I know we've been critical of Kaylee Bryson in the past, and there's still some critiquing that was all the critiquing I did was very valid in my opinion of Kaylee Bryson until she gets into sprint cars against high level sprint car competition and does something I still don't give no credit to anybody doing things in midgets. It just doesn't equate to me. And her example of what she did in a 360 sprint car against local family run operations at your little street racetrack down the street didn't impress me. So at the end of the day, I don't really care. I really do not care about the success or the career of Kaylee Bryson. She's trying to go to asphalt racing to escape competition. That's exactly why people go into midgets. The competition level in your midget national series, very low, very low. That's why when the Chili Bowl happens and you get real race car drivers in those vehicles, the regular midget drivers disappear for the most part. Regardless, they're going now. She's going to asphalt. I'm not paying attention to her. Although there are two other people that are going to be here at the Sebring event racing Trans Ams that have proven themselves a little bit to the point I do respect it a decent amount. One being Brent Cruz, which I'm very intrigued on Brent Cruz. His racing in the micro division and his performance there was very intriguing. I'd like to see him in more 410, 360 sprint car stuff this year. Maybe that's going to happen. Maybe it don't. We'll see. But the one driver going to be racing at Sebring that will be very, very intriguing to view if we get down there. Once again, we got to buy us a damn tent. Links in the description, Venmo, PayPal. It's like $160 for a nice tent and a canopy. Actually, not even canopy. I got to buy a cot, a sleeping bag. I don't even know where I'm going to put it, guys. Maybe I'll bust the windshield out and we'll put it through the back. The other guy running at Sebring this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, is a man by the name of Corey Day. Corey Day is going to be taking his talents to South Beach. No, not South Beach, not all the way. It's in the middle of the state. It's about 2 hours from here, 3 hours from here. It is going towards the warmer section of the state here. But Corey Day is going to be running the Trans Am event this weekend. That's what's happening. So, it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. I hear that the pass to get into this event is kind of like an all-access thing. Hopefully none of the, mad little women drivers will come after me. And obviously Amber Bulkin, I know everybody's going crazy about the Amber Bulkin, Cletus McFarland criticism. Obviously, there's a lot more being said about Amber Bulkin. I know this is changing subjects for a second, but obviously, Amber Bulkin, we've had our issues with her in the past several years in the past. And it was the same criticism, she tried to proclaim herself as the second coming of Danica Patrick, and I said she's closer to the second coming of Kim Kardashian than Danica Patrick. What are you fucking talking about? It was just unbelievable. She's never really had that amount of high level of driving talent. She's never really been that good. And I guess at the ARCA race, she wrecked like everyone in the field, including Cletus McFarland at one point, and fans went insane after her. Absolutely insane. And basically promoted her. I mean, and that's the weird thing. These people get so caught up in their feelings and their ego that they can't handle this criticism that, especially in this Amber Bulkin situation, she literally legitimately deserved by making mistakes on the racetrack. And if you want to be a famous race car driver, these are the things that happen. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, several other race car, Jeff Gordon in his Gordon versus Earnhardt heyday. There were people saying that Jeff Gordon was gay while he was married. There were people throwing things at him, vandalizing his RV, a camper. The Kyle Busch, getting in a fight with a fan, bloodied lip. I mean, Denny Hamlin gets slandered up and down every single day, 24/7. If look at even the greatest example in the world, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Look how many people slander and verbally assault Donald Trump. Or even, let's just say you're on the other side of the mantle. Look how many people made fun of Kamala Harris or anyone in a powerful position. Look at LeBron James and his criticisms. I mean, look at Lamar Jackson and even Patrick Mahomes. If you're a superstar or if you want to be a famous person in any way of life, even myself, look, I've had thousands of people hate me and want to fight me. If you want to be famous in any walk of life, look at Larson with Chaz, exactly. You have to be willing to have thousands and potentially, or it's all about how many people you want to be famous. If you want to be super famous, you need to be willing, ready, and able to have millions of people hate you for no fucking reason. Just because you are you. Not a couple thousand, not one or two in town, not your little buddy clique that you have in North Carolina, but millions of strangers hate you. Like, there's no way around that. So maybe when some of these people, and maybe even you dirt people, I've been critical of the dirt racing people who their egos can't handle me just sitting here talking about them not doing a good move on the track. They can't handle that. Oh my God. Or calling a driver a cherry picker. If you can't, you aspiring drivers, if you can't handle a comment section full of people hating you, you can't be a big time. You can't handle being a big time race car driver. You're not able to be big time anything. You're not able to be a big time anything. A big time politician, football player, basketball player, singer. Look at how many people talk shit on Taylor Swift. Actor, look at Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. I mean, I'm just name anybody. Rapper, country singer. I mean, just go down the list. Go down the list. Every big time person in the whole entire society has millions and millions and millions and thousands hating on them and calling them all kinds of names and hurting their feelings every single fucking day. So this is my opinion with the whole Amber Bulkin. I know this is switched from Corey Day racing at Sebring, but it pirouetted with Kaylee Bryson because she came onto my channel at one point and tried to get all mad because I thought she underperformed in the 360, and I think that she's not that very good because of that performance I saw, and I was very high on her, and she let me down. Okay, fine. But that's why this pirouetted to this Amber Bulkin deal, because it seems to be a topic of the subject. But what are y'all trying to do then? If y'all ain't trying to be, if y'all out here running these damn race cars, ain't trying to be big time race car driver, what the fuck are y'all doing? And if you're trying to be big time race car driver, this is what you signed up for. What example in the world do you have where anybody is big time and not getting hated on all the time for no fucking reason? Where? Can somebody tell me this? What example? Are you crazy? So what did you expect? Oh, unrealistic expectations. What caused that? The Disney movies or the cosmetology industry? Huh? We need to go to the real inherited issue with the scrambled minds. You people crying about being cried on. If you ain't, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, there ain't one person of high level success in any industry, any walk of life that ain't hated on. Look at Jesus Christ, for crying out loud. Look at the Savior of all saviors, saved the world, died on the cross for all man's sins. Motherfuckers still hating that son bitch, hating him and anybody who likes him. All of them. Cleopatra still hated on, the most ruthless, and people want to talk about feminism, a matriarchal leadership of world history. One of the most powerful leaders of all time is a fucking female. I don't know why you don't give her no credit. Started cosmetology, literally created the definition of love, and manipulated her slave class to believe in love more than righteousness. Y'all may think she's great. Still to this day, people hating on her. The pharaohs, they hating on them. What are y'all talking about? Why are y'all worried about getting hated on? Is this a surprise? Chaz is the dirt track Cat Williams. I'm not trying to be Cat Williams here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling the damn truth. Elon Musk trolls his haters. There you go. There's a defense mechanism to doing all this, right? Yeah. Have you not learned defense mechanism? Have you been around an environment that does nothing but kiss your fucking ass and tell you what you want to hear and make you feel special for not being fucking special at all your entire life? So that when the one moment something goes wrong and thousands of people don't like you, you don't know what to fucking do? How does that happen? Oh, you might be an attractive woman in the American society. Oh, that's how you can live a life where everything's perfect and grand and no one hates you. And you can do no wrong. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's a possibility. But women can handle criticism. Taylor Swift handles criticism. Katy Perry. I mean, that's just Beyonce handles criticism. Serena Williams is handling criticism. All these people are handling it. And if you can't handle it, or if you can't handle it, then this big time world, this big time famous thing, whatever you're trying to do, ain't for you. You don't pass the test. You failed. You failed. You can't be Joey Logano or Denny Hamlin or any of these people. You can't be any of them. Because to be those people, you have to be willing to have people hate your fucking guts and talk shit about you for you just being yourself. Or you make a mistake on the track. Oh, now they're really coming to get you for days upon days. Chaz claiming it truth. It's because it is. It's because it is. So let's get back to the Longhorn Rocket discussion. What does Rocket need to do to take the step for changing? I don't know. They're trying to change all they can. They're obviously not stupid over there. Thank you, Doug Buzzard, for the $1.99 super chat. Links in the description, Venmo, PayPal. We're trying to get a damn tent to go to Sebring this week. We might be going there tonight. I'm not sure just yet. We'll see. The sun is coming down. No, we'll probably be heading in that direction tomorrow. But this is just what I feel about the Amber Bulkin deal. I don't understand it. If you got a problem, why are you trying to be big time? And then Cletus tried to upgrade you. Like, that's the problem, bro. That's the biggest issue. Is like, here was your Amber Bulkin's been wanting to be this famous race car driver for years. She has a moment with Cletus McFarland where she could become a famous race car driver now. And she fails. Or maybe she's not. Is she trying to manipulate this into a female mental awareness thing? Is that what's trying to happen? Is she trying to bring back the offensive era that Trump seemingly killed? Is she going to pirouette over into female mental health awareness, similar like we saw the push for male mental health awareness a few years ago? Is this about to spin into the female mental health awareness? Are we about to get a pushback on criticism? Are we about to get a pushback on saying anything wrong again? Is that happening? Is that happening? Maybe that's the play. That's the card she's pulling out to try. I think the card she should have pulled out to try would have been the Serena Williams or some other area, or Elon Musk troll right back at him, go right back at him, show you can handle it, show you can handle stardom. Taking the L, Amber. Taking the L. Go eat at the Sebring dinner. When is the Sebring dinner? I don't know what that is. Nothing wrong with a few-year-old rocket if you know how to set it up. Yeah, see, some people are ignorant in this sense. They think that. And you can do that on a local, regional level. Like we were talking about that in the stands with some other people. You could do that at your local or regional series with a rocket. But when you get to the national series and you're running on the big time stage right now, you're just not keeping up. You're not competing. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Longhorns just got y'all's ass spanked. The Infinity chassis with Gustin's the closest that I can see. If you just want to run local events with your buddies and go beat them, that can work. Hold on. Somebody said, read the rest of the comment. Longhorn just has superior setup data program. I mean, I don't think that's the case, really. I mean, Rocket and Shepard and them, they talk about their data acquisition and system. Everybody uses the same thing. They rent out tracks just as much. They just got something figured out in the welding department in the connecting the dots situation. They got something going. And maybe something with Bilstein or Bilstein, however you want to say it, that there is something to that combination. I just think that that's possibly the case. But you can get a rocket, you can get a capital, you can get a lot of these things and run successfully in weekly racing. But when you go to the national tours right now, Longhorn is just spanking the rest of the world's ass. I don't know where the Freedom Factory is. What about an Estes Longhorn? Maybe there'll have to be some kind of conglomerate. I don't know. Like I said, the Infinity chassis is very interesting. Elon Musk is the greatest rocket builder to date. Maybe they need to tap into Elon Musk, use some AI. Do you think this is how these chassis companies work? One goes away for a while, then comes back new and great, then go away. That is what people are hoping. People, from my understanding, most people are hoping that this is just a phase. Like I said earlier, people are hoping, they said Rocket had the industry unlocked for so many years, and then here comes Longhorn. And people say even to this day, Rocket still has the local and regional racing in somewhat of a stranglehold or a winning ways because there's so many more of them out there. So, I mean, when it comes to overall, racing, Rocket's doing well. But when it comes to the national scene, everybody is hoping that this is just a phase with the Longhorn chassis and that eventually somebody else will come up and take them over. I mean, is it possible? Potentially, but we'll have to see. I remember back in the 80s, the Bullet chassis was huge in Texas, old D&M manufacturing. These guys seem to have unlimited access to shocks. That I'm sure that Rocket has just as much access, guys. Is Barry Wright still building late models? He was gonna do something with Bloomquist, and that's why that's another side angle that was very sad. When Bloomquist passed away, that kind of went away as well. You notice Dennis Erb Jr. had a new Barry Wright, and that was kind of like this new thing that was going to happen. It was somewhat of a partnership, from my understanding, between Barry Wright and Bloomquist, and they were going to kind of combine forces to go after Longhorn as well. But obviously, we know what happened there. Each track has a cheat code. Only some can find it. Okay, well, I mean, obviously, great minds like Mark Richards can't figure them out. Never heard of Fox Shocks. I mean, they're trying, guys. This is what I'm saying. Like the performance right now by the Rocket drivers, you can't necessarily, like Tim McCready and some of these guys, you can't really go after them. They're trying to find a way. They are trying everything they can think of to potentially outrun Longhorn on the national level. They're trying Fox Shocks. They're trying, they probably tested with Fox Shocks, had the Fox Shocks guy in there and doing all this and doing all that and data acquisitions and running shock simulators and all kinds of stuff, pull down rig. I mean, they're probably doing all that they can to potentially run down a Longhorn in this situation. I'm saying the companies work together, causing teams to chase the speed dragon. Oh, that's why I'm saying there's probably some sort of a form of exclusivity with Longhorn and Bilstein there, because it seems to be like that's a hand-in-hand situation. Obviously, Penske used to be a big deal. I think Penske's still the thing there with Longhorn or with Davenport. You'd have to look up that for me. I don't know that off the top of my head if he switched or not. I do know that at one time Davenport was a big Penske shot guy. But I do know that Bilstein is the recommended shot combination with the Longhorns. No, Chubb passed away in 11 or 12. Okay. After Sebring race, look to I-64 to Sarasota. You will find Freedom Factory. Maybe. We will see. Maybe we will see. But we do have the St. Pete IndyCar race. We're probably going to be doing some IndyCar content as well here. Freedom Factory, Tampa area. Okay, so it may work. It may work. We may see this. Pins keep shock trailer still at Port Royal with limited and super lates. Interesting. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we do have to get off of here. It is getting too dark to the point we can't even see ourselves. But links in the description to join the support. We will be aiming to head towards Sebring probably tomorrow. And if you haven't liked the video or subscribed, be sure to subscribe, like the video, leave your comment below when we get off of here. Share it around. Sharing is caring. And join the membership on the channel if you would like to. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We will be trying to be live here at some point for sure by Wednesday. And as always, be happy and find Jesus. Oh my God, we said it. The Jesus word, they're going to shut me down. Oh.